house. Big Zeus. In the people's house. Big Zeus. Going through the gate, 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Marble floors and chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power through the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner, and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is it and art, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big on a big tech, turn these dreams to bad. I'm the voice of the hood trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. Painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these real, Lincoln MLK, now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Big Zeus, it's the people's house.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, happy Thursday.
We knocking on the door.
May 15th, huh?
We wanna hear your soul. Yeah, yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People on them players, yeah, y'all think this is a joke. Take it back and write the code. 1600, got your soul. Put my portrait on the wall. They staring at me like I'm cold. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. Trapping out the West Wing, doing deals all in the dark. Make your dreams come true. All I need is a spark. Red phone ringing, but you don't know who is on my line. Got the Constitution jumping, yeah, you know I'm so.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning.
On my kicks and the rally outside.
This week is pretty much almost over, huh?
This power
get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we came to do. We don't got much time to do it. All right.
1600, do it all day, all night. The people's house is a trap. Got the power, get it back. Money talk loud, time to clap. Fight for the keys, that's a fact. It's a rap, I'ma bring it back.
All right, let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. You know what we came to do. We don't got much time to do it. We want to get in and out. All right, like a burger, actually. There we go.
It's like I'm stuck in time. It's like a curse.
The Lord's work.
And I can't escape it. It's like deja vu. It's me, Zeus. It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. Deja vu when I'm first class. It's like every week I gotta take out trash. I'm on top of my game.
I really am.
You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas. I play the game so raw, I won't finish last. Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous. That algorithm turned me to a maniac. I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet.
Am I right, Evan? You know what I'm talking about. Psycho Queen.
They don't give me problems if they text me. I say it with my chest cause I mean it.
True.
Got a lot of confidence and I'm conceited.
True. Call me the master with a new whip. Here it goes.
I'ma take off in a spaceship.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live in a couple of days.
Drug
That
yes.
shit was radical.
Keep it clean.
It was horrible. I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
It's like deja vu.
It hurts every single time they say that.
It's like deja vu.
It does.
It's like deja vu.
But it is like deja vu, though. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Every day you got to take out the trash, and that's what we're doing on this show. Good morning. I hope you all are doing well. Once again, we are back in the Thunderdome. I'm your host. I'm your pilot, and you know exactly why we are here. So much to get through. It's getting hard to keep up with all the stuff happening in the administration, especially with this Diddy thing, right? But, you know, the Diddy thing, by the way, that's a trigger warning for the century, right? We won't talk about that. But for those of you who don't know who I am, let's take care of some housekeeping items. For those of you who don't know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first H is because I'm honest. I'm the most honest person on social media. I never professed to be perfect. I just said honest, all right? Because sometimes, you got to keep some stuff on the internet, some stuff off, right? But I'll tell you the truth, just like Joe Biden. One thing I do know how to do is tell the truth. A second H is because, well, I'm humble. There's nobody more humble than me. Listen, if I get it wrong, I'll be the first to apologize. Good morning, Val. But here's the thing. Just because your feelings are hurt, honestly, I don't owe you an apology. And that's for everybody, all right? Especially, we've had an interesting week. But you know what? If your feelings are hurt, that's okay. That means that there's probably room for you to learn how to grow, okay? But as long as people are being honest, and I say like this, if you want to be honest with people, you got to expect people to be honest with you, just like I am. It goes both ways, like a street. You ever seen those streets? And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because you've guessed it, I am and will always remain the most handsome. And Nutty hates when I say that. Nutty does, but Nutty, you gotta, there's room in the back of the line. You can just get there, all right? Now, many of you know exactly why we are gathered here today. This is where we gather every morning, ladies and gentlemen, to check in with each other and figure out what we need to do, or continue to do, actually, in order to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of, guess who? Donald J. Trump and his legion of what I call MAGA demons, all right? And what we do is we hold them accountable, and we also offer them shock therapy via Lake of Fire, right? We're going to throw MAGA demons into the Lake of Fire until the good old Lord tells us we need to stop. And as far as I'm concerned, I just checked in with him, and he said, no, keep going. Keep going. These people got to learn. There has to be some sort of punishment. We don't allow Trump supporters over here to be victims at all, because if you look at it, what you've done to this great country of ours, it's actually indefensible. We can go as far as back as January 6th. A lot of you think just because Donald Trump issued you a pardon, that means we can't bring it up. But here's the thing. It's one thing for Donald Trump to do it, but last I checked, the good Lord hasn't issued you a pardon, right? Has anyone seen Jesus come down and issue those seditionists, treasonous traitors pardons? Did Jesus ever do that? He gave it, come on, you know what, I'm going to absolve you for doing what you did. So we don't allow Trump supporters to bring up BLM and all of that stuff, because when you think about it, it's night and day. Bringing up BLM and then trying to liken that to January 6th is wild. First of all, here, if you want to equate BLM, you would have to say Barack Obama was involved with BLM, and he led people to the Capitol, and from the Capitol all the way down to the states, it was a bunch of people that supported Obama that were just attacking the federal government. See, if you had that scenario, then I would say, yeah, it's the same thing. But when you just got regular patriots of the country protesting a cause, and it was a good cause, and then you had some bad actors, it's not the same. But what happened on January 6th? From the president lying, and I hate to even call him the president, but he lied to all of you, lured you to the Capitol. I've covered it several times. Some of you actually got in the back of U-Hauls. You know who you are, the Patriot Front Proud Boys and the Boogaloo Boys. And you know who they was. Marjorie Seditionist Traitor Green, you know who we saw hit with the pipe bombs. You all went there on behalf of Donald J. Trump, not Nancy Pelosi. And you did some nasty damage, and you wanted to actually unalive the vice president. You can't compare those. So what I'll do is this. Any Trump supporters out there, because as you can see, I could easily just start talking and keep going on and bringing nothing but the truth. Do we have any Trump supporters out there? Because I'm going to give you the opportunity of a lifetime. Oh, Sith Lord. Okay. You think I got Trump derangement syndrome? I consider it a great badge of courage anytime a Trump supporter tries to use all of their brain cells to insult Big Zeus. Because guess what, MAGA? I never ever want to be liked by you. I don't ever want a MAGA person to say, you know what, me and Zeus, we get along. Because then that means I've gone down the wrong path. So if you do not want Big Zeus, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to the Trump supporters especially, if you do not want me to hurt your feelings this morning, because we got so much things to talk about. If you do not want to cry this morning, because I'm gonna talk about you and your dear leader. I have no other choice, considering all the things you've done to this country. If you do not want to experience convulsions, like my good friend brother Swervin says, you're lactose intolerant, right? That means you're allergic to the facts. Like if someone's allergic to dairy, they're lactose intolerant. If you're lactose intolerant, you might want to leave this live, because it's going to get very, very uncomfortable for you. I promise. there's going to be a lot of truth coming out, and you're going to cry. You're going to be, going through that McDonald's drive-through. Hey, can I get a number one? What's that? Egg McMuffin meal. Oh, what do you want with that? I'll take a Diet Coke and 2 of those American apple pies. Now they cost more because of the tariffs. And then you're going to listen to this show, and then you're not going to be so hungry, right? And then you're going to feel like you wasted a bunch of dollars that you had in your ashtray, right? If you don't want to go through that, MAGA, do me a huge favor. Leave right now, because it's going to get very uncomfortable for you. But get this. You don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
And with that, the doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed, and you are now, you've entered at your own risk. I take no responsibility for anybody's feelings going forward. We're all adults, but unfortunately, these conversations need to be had. W. Zeus. So, I gotta do it again. I gotta remind MAGA how we all got here. I mean, not you, not me, but how y'all got to where we're at right now. There is some devastating news that came out this morning, and it's going to impact every single Trump supporter's pocketbook. It's going to. And it has to do with the tariffs that your dear leader put into place. And people say, why do you call him your dear leader? Well, what else should we call him when we're referring to him? I got so many other ways I could do it, but I got to keep it clean on TikTok. He is your dear leader because whether you want to acknowledge it or not, you're addicted. All right, you got it. MAGA, you have a serious addiction. And again, those of us who've battled addiction, including myself, because I used to be a rock star, I did. The one thing you do that could just really make somebody who's an addict upset, you're an addict, and then they get very defensive. Oh, I'm not an addict. I just do this. I just do that. Listen, you're MAGA junkies. And as a matter of fact, wait until you hear I'm going to make a song for you called MAGA Junkies, all right? Because it's the best way I can do it. You're MAGA junkies. You're hooked on the lies. You're hooked on being misled. You're hooked on Donald Trump's dirty, disgusting diaper, right? And so you got to remember that first time that you got that hit. People go, well, when did I get the hit? A lot of people think the hit was when Donald Trump came down that golden escalator. That's when they think they got their first hit, I'm good. But that wasn't it. I'm going to remind MAGA how y'all got here.
You're going to be so proud of your country if I get in.
Yeah,
You're going to be so proud of your president, and I don't care about that. But you are going to be so proud of your country because we're going to turn it around, and we're going to start winning again. We're going to win so much. We're going to win at every level. We're going to win economically. We're going to win with the economy. We're going to win with military. We're going to win with healthcare and for our veterans. We're going to win with every single facet. We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so much.
You hear that, MAGA? That's when the bell rang. People understand what I mean when the bell rang. That's when the bell rang inside these addicts' head. And they said, now that's a high I like, and I need more of that. And I've been understanding this is what we're dealing with. That's why I call it a demonic and then it's evil force. So MAGA keeps running around here thinking that they're winning.
If we want America to thrive in the 21st century,
then
we must stop running from the competition. And instead, we must start totally winning and winning.
That's another
and
hit
winning
right there.
Again.
Ooh.
Remember when I used to say, we're going to win so much? We're going to win that the people of Missouri are going to go to your governor and they're going to say, Governor, please go see the president. We can't stand winning so much. Remember, I used to say that, right?
This is winning.
I used to say it, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening. And then the governor's going to come to that beautiful historic Oval Office. He's going to say to me, Mr. President, the people of Missouri cannot stand all this winning. They don't want to win so much. They love the old way, where they had lousy job numbers, lousy economic numbers, lousy. They loved it. Please, Mr. President, please not. And I'll say, Governor, I don't care what they say in Missouri. We're going to keep winning and winning and winning and winning. Remember?
So that's when MAGA, ladies and gentlemen, this is when they got their, I call it their first hit of the MAGA demon, the dose. And so I wake up this morning, ladies and gentlemen, and you all woke up and you heard this news. I mean, now I got to ask the chat, because you all do a great job keeping Big Zeus honest. Does this sound like winning to you?
Is where prices, here we go, are actually starting to come down. But it does come with some breaking news happened just a few moments ago. Walmart now saying it must raise prices to deal with the cost of tariffs. So let's bring in NBC senior business correspondent Christine Romans. Let's start there.
Yeah.
What are we hearing from the nation's largest private employer?
Right, and biggest retailer. This is a really important warning from Walmart here. Its CEO saying they just can't absorb all the higher prices from tariffs, even with these lower tariff prices. Given the magnitude of the tariffs, we aren't able to absorb all the pressure. So that means you could see prices starting to rise at Walmart. We've heard this from Black & Decker. We've heard this from Hasbro. We've heard it from Mattel. We've heard it from all kinds of different companies that manufacture and sell toys and shoes and clothes and the like. Now you're hearing it from Walmart. So just a reminder that trade war is not over, even though tariffs against China have been lowered to 30% for now.
Wow. Does anyone think Walmart, because I know all Trump supporters, 99.99% of Trump supporters, in one way or another, they shop at Walmart. Does that sound like winning, MAGA? Be honest. Be honest. Because I will be the first one to tell you it's not winning. When I'm asking you to take more money out of your pocket, all right, more than you normally would, that's not you winning. It would be winning if you were getting more money and saving money. So Donald Trump played you all like a fiddle. And I got the Lake of Fire queued up because guess what, MAGA? I told you before, you will be judged. All right, that MAGA demon comes with the price, MAGA. You worship the devil, you're going to get devil rewards. All right, your rewards. Oh, they're all going to be evil and wicked, and they're coming. So this is an example of wickedness that's upon MAGA. But I'm not going to let this go. Where is Blaga at? Because Blaga, I've been looking for you high and low. And at this point with Blaga, I only got one simple question. Are you winning? Did you get those golden envelopes, that $5,000? Did you get it? You know what I'm talking about, the Doge check. Remember, Elon found all this waste, fraud, and abuse. And then I did a video about it. Her name's Sharita White. You can go check it out. And the logic and why they decided to leave the Democrat Party, it was crazy. When Donald Trump was in the chair, I was up. This is what she said. When Donald Trump was in the chair, I was up. All right. When he left the chair, I wasn't up. So obviously that's Joe Biden's fault. Okay. Really? Okay. That's wild, but okay. Maybe it's just your lifestyle and your choices, right? Or things out of the presidency. You just assume it's Donald Trump cared so much about you. He decided to go ahead and bless you with those stimulus checks, you know, the pandemic stimulus checks. So Blaga does not have the Doge checks, and Trump supporters across the board are paying more as a result of Donald J. Trump's failed tariff policies, right? So what this is proof of is that you Trump supporters aren't winning. I'm so sorry to say it. W. Zeus. There's no Trump supporter on the face of this earth that is winning when they haven't received the $5,000 from Doge and the prices are going up. And so with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for judgment. Good to all the Trump supporters out there, you know what you did. You continue to get played. And you think a satisfactory explanation for why your money is funny is blaming the Democrats and Joe Biden and reading Jake Tapper's book? It's not going to change the game. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do it all together. Let's send these Trump supporters where they belong. Straight to hell! Where's conservative conquistador that came up here yesterday? It's so funny. I had to go back and listen to what he was trying to say to me. And I'm like, listen, champ, bottom line, all that huffing and puffing, and there's no $5,000. All that huffing and puffing, the egg prices aren't 37 cents per carton. All that huffing and puffing, my utility bill hasn't been cut in half. All this huffing and puffing you all are saying is winning. It's not adding up when it comes down to it. And now you hear, what's his name, Josh Hawley? They're trying to cut Medicaid, and their logic is there's a bunch of men out there. This is weird. A bunch of men out there collecting, benefiting from Medicaid, getting Social Security. So what we want these men to do is to get up off their couches and quit watching Fox News and get out there and actually start working. And you're going, where are these deranged Trump supporters supposed to be working, right? Because the tariffs were supposed to bring the manufacturing jobs back to the United States. But then I got some disturbing news this morning. I mean, you all heard it. It involved Donald Trump actually going after the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook. So we're going to get this on the record, and then we'll talk about this, all right?
And we have Apple, as you know, is coming in. And I had a little problem with Tim Cook yesterday. I said to him, Tim, you're my friend. I've treated you very good. You're coming in with $500 billion, but now I hear you're building all over India. I don't want you building in India. You can build in India if you want to take care of India, because India is one of the highest tariff nations in the world. It's very hard to sell into India. And they've offered us a deal where basically they're willing to literally charge us no tariff. So we go from the highest tariff, you couldn't do business in India, we're not even a top 30 in India because the tariff is so high, to a point where they have actually told us, I assume you too, Scott, you were working on that also, that there will be no tariff, right? Would you say that's a difference? They're the highest and now they're saying no tariff. But I said to Tim, look, we've treated you really good. We put up with all the plants that you built in China for years. And now you got to build us. We're not interested in you building in India. India can take care of themselves. They're doing very well. We want you to build here, and they're going to be upping their production in the United States. Apple. So Apple's already in for $500 billion, but they're going to be upping their production. So it'll be great. So I really think we've gone from a laughingstock 6 months ago to the hottest country anywhere in the world. And that's not just in business, that's in everything else, and it's psychologically hot too. And I just want to thank everybody for being here.
So this is Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen, telling the CEO of Apple, Tim Cook, where he should be building his iPhones. Does anyone think that's acceptable for a president to tell business owners all over the country how to run their businesses and how to make their money? I mean, so I couldn't help but think to myself, maybe Donald Trump is under the impression that, look at all, W to the chat, all of you who said no, thank you, because as soon as you say yes, MAGA, then I got to go back to the gas prices. Why can't he tell these people who are selling us the gas to lower their prices, right? Why doesn't he say we're drilling in the United States, drop the price? Because obviously it doesn't work like that, right? You can't tell Apple how to make their money. And at the end of the day, all of you who said yes, what you're basically telling everybody in this chat is you don't think the iPhone is already too expensive. So they think that an iPhone right now, what does an iPhone cost right now? Like what, $1,600? Trump supporters are saying they got so much money on them that, you know what? They're willing to pay $10,000 for that iPhone, right? Is this where you Trump supporters are trying to get me to believe that y'all got an extra $10,000 lying around so you can buy the iPhone and all the accessories that go with it? Because think about it. You got to bring the manufacturing back here, right? And you don't know where all the parts in the phone come from, but they're going to be coming from different places all over the world. But then you got to pay these Trump supporters who were sitting on their couches, right? They were collecting those Social Security checks, but now they don't get it anymore. Now you got to turn around and start paying them. Now, do you think these Trump supporters that you got to start paying, would they be willing to, make it at the same price that the people in China and India are doing it? I mean, do you think they'll accept what those people were getting paid over here? Because I don't think they would. And I actually think it would be illegal to pay them. So what this is, ladies and gentlemen, is it's another example how Donald J. Trump is bad for business and he's bad for America. And the only people who can't see it are his supporters. So what we'll do is we'll help them see it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire again, because I know there's some Trump supporters in here who are sitting at home collecting Social Security, worried about losing it because Donald Trump says they got to get up and go to work. And so now they thought, well, maybe I could get a job at Apple, but they're going to find out that that's never going to happen either. And so not only are they not going to get Medicaid and Social Security, but they're never going to ever work for Apple. So they're going to ultimately be poor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA Daily.
W. Zeus. It is so easy to debunk and stop MAGA in their tracks. And that's why all these special elections you're seeing, you know, they might say the Democrats are polling lowly, but I believe the average person in this country has woken up and they've realized whoever's the president is one thing, right? Whoever you like is one thing. But one thing is crystal clear. The Republican Party via Donald J. Trump is not looking out for the average American. It's so obvious. It's so obvious. And this latest thing, and they don't like it when I bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up because it's symbolic as far as I'm concerned. He wants his supporters to suffer. I just covered why. He's raising the prices on things so that they can't afford them. So that's a sign he's going after their livelihood, right? He also is doing what I just talked about with Apple, right? He wants them to not even be able to have cell phones, so they can't even get information anymore because it's going to be so difficult and hard to afford, right? So we see all of these things. And while that's happening, he is hell-bent on getting this airplane. You seen it, the $400 million jet, it's gone from it's a gift to the United States to everybody saying it's not a gift to the United States. It's Donald Trump's bribery scheme to, so he can get an airplane to fly around with once he leaves office. Everybody sees it except his deranged supporters. And so you got to think about this, MAGA. And this is where if you can't see this, then I don't know what else to say to you. You're going to be living, you might not even have a roof over your head, right? Your wives, your husbands, your children, they might not even be able to live with you anymore, right? And you're going to sit there and suffer, and you're going to be thinking there's just going to be this one day when I wake up and Donald Trump changes the world and sends me that $5,000 Doge check. You're going to be there, and then day one passes, it never happens. Day two, day three, next thing you know, it's been 100 days and it still hasn't happened. Everybody's getting paid and you're just going, well, I know it's coming. And then you get the news, oh, Donald Trump just got a $400 million jet from this corrupt government, by the way. Oh, and you're sitting there at a certain point, you gotta go, perhaps he's playing me, right? Perhaps he's playing me. At a certain point, MAGA, you gotta realize, because we all do. I'm gonna ruin your Christmas right now, MAGA. You'll never get the $5,000. He'll never invite you to Mar-a-Lago. You'll never meet Ivanka. You'll never smell her perfume. You'll never do that. You'll never sniff that diaper one-on-one. It'll never happen. All right. And there will never be no tax on tips. There's not going to be no tax on overtime. All right. There's not going to be capping your credit card interest at 10%. All this is about is Donald Trump and his friends enriching themselves at your expense. But guess what you can do? You can continue to hate the Democrats and Joe Biden while he's robbing you. All right. Let's go to the chat and talk to people. Yeah, Trump is the man, Gary. Carrie, okay, listen, do we have any Trump supporters in the chat that are brave enough to get in here? The Dems are so salty, and you are too. Randy, you seem very upset. Come on up here, Randy. I promise you, when we're done talking, your anger is not going to be with Zeus. If you just come up here, Randy, I promise you, once we're done talking, you'll go, all right, Zeus, I see what you're saying. And this is something, because I think Randy ultimately is a good person.
I'm not upset.
All right, so
I'm more upset.
Huh?
I'm more upset because I lost my mother than anything.
Well, I'm so sorry you lost your mother. That's some heavy stuff. But you voted for Donald Trump
last Saturday.
Did you vote for Trump too?
Yes, I did, but I'm not upset. Yeah, but I'm not upset.
Okay, so listen, honestly, American to American, losing your mother is very hard, and my condolences do go out to you, Randy. I really will. I really do feel
Yes, it
bad
is.
trying to bash you, knowing that that's what you're dealing with. So you win this round, all right, Randy?
Yeah.
You win this round, Randy.
Yeah.
Okay, but because mothers are very, very important. All right, and I just hope that you get some real
And she
professional
got
help and deal with this grieving in a professional way. All right, Randy, because the
yeah.
anger that I have
But she
right
passed.
now, huh?
But she passed last
I could barely hear
Saturday,
you, Randy.
right before Mother's Day.
She passed away on Mother's Day.
She passed last. No, before Mother's Day. That Saturday before Mother's Day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that hurts.
Yeah.
That hurts. As much as I despise
So
the
if you have a
fact that,
mother,
yeah, Randy, I can barely keep
if
up
you have
with
a
you.
mother,
Your
Travis,
your signal, your
I
signal,
said,
Randy.
if you have your mother, keep her close,
Yeah, there's a delay, Randy.
close for
We got it.
as long as you can. After that, I'll call you. I'll hit you
All
back.
right, all right. Thank you, Randy.
I'll hit you
Thank you,
back.
Randy. I'll move it along. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Randy, and he lost his mother. So I'm not gonna do it. I got a conscience. I can't do it, but please, Randy, deal with your family situation. And, if you need to take time away from TikTok, I understand that. We'll get back to what's due as far as I am concerned. All right. And again, actually, I'm going to say that's a W Zeus. It's still a W Zeus. All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Do we have any other Trump supporters that are, brave enough to get up here and actually try to defend their dear leader or try to climb Mount Olympus this morning? Because somebody's going to have to pay. There has to be consequences for you all voting for Donald Trump, despite the fact that he hasn't delivered on anything yet. Okay, there you go. Ruru, come on up here, Ruru. Ruru, come up here and take this judgment that is necessary. Ruru, are you going to come up here, Ruru? We don't got all morning to do this. All right. You ask questions in the comment section, but you're not brave enough to get up here. All right. Well, you know what that means, Ruru. Be gone, W Zeus. What I am looking for. Okay. All right. Yeah, there we go. Jeep. Come on up here, Jeep. Let's go. And Jeep. I'm a specialist, and what I'm going to do today is help you understand that your anger is not with the Democrat Party at all. All right, it's not. When you really sit down and think about it, MAGA. Maverick. Maverick. I was going to invite you up here, but obviously you can't come up here. Maybe you turned off your invitation, and then plus, I believe I've already annihilated you, Maverick. By the way, because I know I did, because after me and all these other people, me and Ange came up there and we annihilated you and Wildman. Guess what? Wildman turned around and said he won, but then you know what he did the next day? He blocked me. W Zeus. Hey, Jeep, I invited you. And you didn't come up. All right. All you have to do is hit accept. Other than that, just zip it. All right. And if you're finding yourself getting triggered by the way that I'm running my broadcast, once again, PSA announcement.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Come on, where are you Trump supporters at? Get up here and defend this. Defend why you don't have the $5,000 in your hand. It's just amazing. Y'all don't want to get up here and defend the fact that grocery prices are going up. I mean, look at this. Look at this, chat. You would think these people would be out here head over heels saying, hey, Donald Trump did this. Their best thing they like to brag about is Donald Trump supposedly securing the border. Let's see. This will be easy work. This will be easy work. This will be easy work. First of all, this will be easy work. This will be easy work. So he changed his name to what we call him in the show. This is a step in the right direction. Are you walking the dog again?
Nope. I'm actually on my way to go train another manager.
All right. Why do you well, listen, you got a lot going on over there.
No,
Why
I just gotta put my seatbelt on.
why do you insist on requesting Up to come talk to us every single day when no one here really cares about you?
Oh, because I know that just being in your live, I get free publicity. So.
Oh, okay.
But
You don't have anything.
I have a serious question. I have a serious question for you. How is it possible that you obsess more over Trump than any Republican I know?
That's your question?
Yep.
Oh, well, it's not that
Is he
difficult.
really that important to you that you have to obsess about him every... You go to sleep thinking about him. You wake up thinking about him. You spend your day thinking about him.
Really? Where'd you get that information from?
Your show. You've even admitted that you've gone to sleep thinking about him.
Does that mean you dream of me?
No, not at all. I don't think about you at all after I'm off this show.
Yeah, you
do.
are
Not important to me. The comedy show is important.
Okay, well, listen.
The clown show you put on is important.
All right, great. Well, here's the thing. I just want to make sure we direct that energy to the right person. Can you confirm with us if you've gotten that $5,000 that he promised?
If I got it, I'd send it back just like I did the stimulus check.
So the answer is what?
No, I haven't gotten it, and I don't want it.
Wow. Okay, so he's not delivering for you.
I never said I wanted it. So
okay,
I don't care
what about gas? How much is gas where you're at? Because what state are you in? What state are you?
Washington State.
Okay, so you're not getting a discount on the gas. Wow.
$4.12. Yes.
Okay,
it was $4.89 last week.
Okay, that's still not where he said it should be. $1.97, right? And I'm assuming you heard the yeah, he did.
He
and then
you're 83 cents.
Okay,
no, he didn't.
Okay, listen.
And
your signal's going in and out, and I'll take over from here. W Zeus, all right. Your signal's going in and out, and I'll take over. Thank you, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. I'm going to go ahead and ruin your morning, bro. Check this out. You didn't get the $5,000. Your gas isn't cheap. Your eggs aren't 37 cents. He said it would go down 93, 94%. You can go look at it. I did a video about it. Trust me when I tell you this stuff. And then the last thing I want to say is this. You just heard me say earlier, the price of things are going to go up at Walmart. And I know for sure you shop at Walmart over there in Washington. So what I'll do is this, Tiny Tank Top Tim. I'm going to warm up the lake of fire. Another Trump supporter got into my box, huffing and puffing, but they never, ever confirmed they got anything that their dear leader promised them. Case closed, ladies and gentlemen. Let's send Tiny Tank Top Tim straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right. Yeah, wow, y'all really don't like him, and I can feel it too. I mean, this guy says he comes to my show every morning, ladies and gentlemen, to get free publicity. All right, you got to be careful though, because not all attention is good attention. All right, and I don't think you're getting the attention you want. Let's go to the chat. I want somebody a little more serious. All right, if they don't mind coming up here. Who do we have here? El Cano. Good morning. How are you? El Cano. Good morning. How are you?
My apologies, my man. I actually stepped away from the phone. How are you, man?
I'm doing all right. Just another day, tending to the affairs.
I know. Hey, obviously, you're always talking about up-to-date facts as to what's going on in this country with Donald Trump and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you mentioned about what's going on at the Supreme Court today?
Not yet, but please, the birthright citizenship, be my guest.
Yes. Thank you. Birthright citizenship, of course, is being argued at the Supreme Court, something that should never even have been considered. Every single federal court before the Supreme Court has said that this is a non-issue. But nonetheless, the Supreme Court decided to take it up. Now, there's also the other issue, which is added onto this session today, where they're going to try and limit the authority of district courts to just the districts. Donald Trump brought lawsuits against 3 different districts. Forgive me for not remembering. I think it's Washington. My apologies for not remembering exactly. But basically, it's to question the nationwide authority of any federal judge in any districts. So they want the Supreme Court to basically limit the district's authority just to their districts.
Wow.
You know, the Constitution says otherwise.
Yeah.
And I'm a constitutionalist. I mean, I studied the Constitution at John Jay College Criminal Justice, where I got my degree in security and police management.
So you don't, so you don't buy what these TikTok folks are doing, because there's a lot of people on this app that believe that they know how to interpret the Constitution because they can read. What do you have to say to those people who go out here and believe what Donald Trump says? Because they say, Donald Trump has the right to actually interpret the Constitution, not the Supreme Court.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. That's strictly completely on the judiciary, on the Supreme Court to do so.
Yeah.
Hector,
you want to come up here, Hector? You're more than welcome to come up here and defend your dear leader. But if not, Hector, do us a huge favor and just zip it. Sorry, Elcano. Okay, because Hector's getting worked up by what you're saying.
Sorry, I'm just trying to look for my petition up here and get it up here. So here let me turn off my camera.
There you go.
Just turn it around. Here we go. So here's the petition. I'm also the vice president of the American Coalition for Democracy and Equality. Our goal is exactly that, to protect our democracy and equality for everyone, regardless of sex, gender orientation, race, heritage, you name it. So along that, of course, trying to do that, we came up with this petition, which we have on change.org, where we're hoping to remind Congress that they took an oath to protect this Constitution.
Amen.
Not a man. Because apparently our country, our branches of government have gone towards the protection of a man and to follow a man, and they've completely forgotten our Constitution. We know Donald Trump and his administration has violated the Constitution several times with these deportations to Venezuela. Deportations to El Salvador, excuse me. We do know that they've already violated the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendments to all these people.
Right.
For them to have due process. It's gone. And he doesn't care. The Supreme Court told him that he needed to return Abrego Garcia. And what did he say? I'm not going to do it. I don't care. That's a complete violation of the Constitution. Article 1 talks about the powers of Congress. Article 2 talks about his authority. And of course, Article 3 talks about the judiciary. And it clearly says that the judiciary can overlook the other 2 branches, as well as each branch look over each other. That is what we call the imbalances,
Checks and
but he's completely
balances. Yeah,
exactly. But he's completely violated that. I mean, there's also some bills in Congress that have already passed, which are going to limit the freedoms of media, of news medias. Donald Trump has also, of course, as we know, cut funding to NPR and PBS News, all because they don't report the news that he wants to be reported. There's just so many things that I could talk about what's going on in this country, but it's horrifying. Right now, I guess the important thing is, especially today, given how important today is, because we're not only talking about birthright citizenship, but also the, trying to place limits and on what a federal judge can do, which is totally against what the Constitution says.
Yeah.
So
they don't care. So do you think the Trump supporters care and support the Constitution, considering what we've seen them do from, attacking the Capitol to where we're at now? Do they seem like a group of people in this country that actually value the Constitution?
The evidence doesn't point that way. Not at all. Not one bit.
W.L. Cano.
And it bothers me. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, because I really want us to make sure we have to call these people out for what they are. All right. These are some lawless people. And basically what you're saying is they want to live in a country where laws don't apply. All they want to be able to do is worship their dear leader.
Exactly. Exactly. That's all they're doing. I had a thought in my head which I just lost. I'm sorry. Was it regard? Patriotism. Regarding patriotism and nationalism. See, it bothers the heck out of me because I took an oath twice to protect this Constitution. Once when I worked for the Department of Homeland Security. I worked for a security agency. I was in the support staff. I can't say what agency it was, because I was privy to certain information and all that kind of stuff, which I fed to the field agents. I wasn't a field agent. I was inside.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it was the Department of Homeland Security. And currently in my more public agency, but I took the oath twice to protect this Constitution against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I honor that oath. I respect that oath. I cherish it. And it bothers me when I see these people, especially veterans, supporting Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has clearly violated that oath. I also get bothered when they call themselves patriots. These people are not patriots. These people are nationalists.
Thank you.
A patriot recognizes the faults his country has and tries to better his country. A nationalist says, no, my country is the best. It is the greatest on earth. And no, and nationalism and America, and, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So these people are not patriots at all, not one bit.
There you go.
They fight me on my views and what I try to promote and teach, telling me that I'm not an American, I'm not patriot, I'm not this, I'm not that. But you know what? I am the patriot. They're not. Because I recognize the faults of this nation. In fact, Malcolm X used to say, you cannot hate the roots and love the tree.
Oh, now that's a quote for y'all because y'all love quoting Malcolm X when he's saying things about liberals, but all of a sudden they leave that quote out. W. L. Kano. All right, brother. Well, listen, I got to move it on. All right, but as always, it's a pleasure.
Everyone, please sign this petition.
Yes.
Everyone, please sign this petition. Please scan it, pass it along. You could also go into my profile. There's a link directly to it. Please sign this petition. Again, we're trying to remind SCOTUS that they took an oath to the Constitution,
Amen.
not to a man, and they should honor and respect that oath as well as the Constitution and our laws.
Awesome. Make sure you guys give them a follow and yes, sign the petition if you care about this great country of ours. Thank you, El Kano. All right, brother, and hopefully I'll see you again. All righty then. All right, so. You too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, another round of applause for El Kano. So listen. Do we have any Trump supporters that are willing to get in the box today and try to defend their dear leader in terms of what they believe is success? Because, according to him, you all are supposed to be winning. So I want to talk to somebody out there who's winning. All right. Seriously. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and I'll bring you right on up. Right. What's up? You can be South African if you want to just run there. Okay. I don't know what that even means, but you know what? I think you're a Zeus hater. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to bring you up or send me a guest request. And what I'll do is I'll bring you up and I will give you an opportunity, honestly, to try to convince us that you are winning despite all the writing on the wall. All right. And so I take the silence from MAGA because, I've been doing these conversations with you Trump supporters. Remember way before the election, you all were giddy. You all had so much to say. Oh, you hated Joe Biden. You hated Vice President Kamala Harris. You won the election. Oh, you all were head over heels. You were thrilled. First 100 days in, no Doge checks. The cost of goods going up. Your 401ks are in the toilet. And you guys are all quiet as a church mouse all of a sudden. So guess who's winning? W. Zeus. Somebody said liberals are crashing hard. Yeah, right. Let me see. Let's go to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the chat. True Lights. Good morning. How are you? Welcome to the show. Good morning, True Lights. Are you there?
Yes.
What brings you to the show?
Really, I'm just in the classroom. I learned a lot from you, man.
Oh, okay. So you like watching this show and what we do is what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
All righty then. Well, it seems like you got a lot going on, champ, but I want to give you a round of applause. W. True Lights. All right.
All right.
Thank you. All right, there you go. See, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of love on this platform. Go ahead and give them a round of applause. Do we have any Trump supporters out there? Please put a W in the put a 1 in the chat. I am so sorry because I got to be able to identify who's Trump and who's not. Right. Let's try another guest. Who do we got? Who do we have here? Let's see. Fran, you sent me a request, Fran. Let's see. Where are the ones? Yeah. Fran, good morning. How are you? Fran, are you there? Going once? Going twice? Done. Thank you. Maybe that was an accident. You know, we never know, right? We never know. Crunch, come on up here, Crunch. Hey, Tano, why don't you send me a guest request? All right, I'll deal with whatever it is you got going on over there. Does Trucker, who you said Trucker wants up? Where's Trucker at? Where's Trucker at? Please pin what Trucker is saying, and I'll bring them right on up. But they don't want to come up here and defend their dear leader. I always put a good name out for you everywhere, Zeus. Oh, okay. Well, okay, Anthony, you're doing the right thing. Okay, I see Trucker. Come on up here, Trucker. I sent you an invite. All right. Good morning, Lisa. How are you doing? Meg? Oh, you're driving. Oh, okay. Well, then you shouldn't have put the one. Let's see. Who do we have here? Looks like we're having connection issues, Lisa. We will move it along. Shelly Thunder, good morning. How are you? Good morning, Shelly. How are you? Shelly, are you there?
No sugar, no ice.
No sugar, no ice. That's actually funny. Okay, who else do we have out there? All right, put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and I will bring... Oh, you didn't mean to do that. All right, no problem. Put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and we'll try to get you up here as quick as possible. We don't got all morning, ladies and gentlemen. This show is in and out like a burger, all right? You just got to get in here and say your piece and then keep it moving. I don't know why it's so hard for you Trumpers to get up here and defend your dear leader. All right, well, we'll bring up Q-Dog. Good morning. Q-Dog, how are you doing, bro?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
Just getting the information out here. I'm looking for folks that actually that are winning to come up here and tell us what they're winning at, right? And as you can see, it's crickets.
I'm just trying to figure out how they still winning. You heard about the situation with Vladimir Putin, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 37 miles from Ukraine, and it hits Russia.
Yeah.
Now he's scared for his life right now. Like I said before, when Trump tried to play Mr. Big Badass, excuse my language, mama, in the Oval Office with Zelensky, and he sat back like Frank Lucas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now mess with me if you want to. Go ahead. Keep doing what you want to do. Now Putin is scared that he's gonna come after him.
Yeah. So what we got is, Putin has been stringing Trump along and making Trump believe, the lies about who started the conflict. And, for a while it looked like Donald Trump was siding with Russia, but Zelensky actually I think Zelensky is the real leader of the free world right now. And him and the EU, they've done an excellent job uniting and helping to show Donald Trump and his deranged supporters that Putin is not interested in ending this war at all, and that he's basically showing Donald Trump is weak. He doesn't understand what's going on. And so, from what I understand, Zelensky is in Turkey, or he has been, and there was supposed to be a one-on-one face-off between Zelensky and Putin to try to negotiate a 30-day ceasefire, and Zelensky called Trump and Putin's bluff by showing up personally and saying, you know what, I'll show up. But Putin decides he's going to send a delegation there. So they know Putin is not interested in ending this conflict, and which means Donald Trump, if he keeps his word, he's going to have to side with the EU and Zelensky and put tough sanctions on his friend.
Yeah. And the whole situation, a lot of the chat don't know what's going on. Putin attempted to fire on Ukraine.
Yeah.
And it wound up hitting in Russia. So now you're at a point now you're trying to talk peace. a little
Good
bit
luck.
too late for that. You don't hit the button. And these folks, they don't realize that this is the same dude that your fearless leader is. Where's Trump now? Is he helping them to back Vladimir? He had his back the whole time during this election. Now
Yeah.
nowhere to be found. Now he's shaking in his boots that Zelensky's going to come after him.
Ain't that something?
Help me understand that. Where's your fearless leader now? He was talking all this big bad stuff. Now he's quiet as a mouse. He ain't trying to get involved with that. But you was talking number one ish in front of those cameras at Zelensky. Now the real gangster is coming out.
WQ dog. MAGA, where is it at?
The ones that you gotta watch for is the quiet ones.
Yeah.
They don't say much and they sit back and just say my end. Just like Frank Lucas, my end.
Thank you.
You remember that? You remember that scene in the movie with Denzel Washington when he played.
Someone
Frank
said,
Lucas, American Gangster. When he was sitting there with his brothers at the table having a conversation, and then he saw one of his adversaries coming down the street.
Yep.
And he came up and said, "Where my money at?" "Oh, what you gonna do, Frank? What you gonna do? You gonna unalive me in the middle of the street?" Bam! And then went right back to eating like nothing happened. That's Zelensky right there. So y'all thought that Putin was the big bad wolf. Thought he was the American gangster. Wrong.
This guy Zelensky's been through hell and back with dealing with Putin and having to actually deal with Trump and JD trying to, do a number on him and then send him back to his country like he's not, like you said, the tough one. And we're starting to see who's really about that action and who's really not. Now, someone in the chat said, "So Q Dog, are you for Ukraine?" Could you answer what this question? Can you answer that question for these people that are stuck?
They missed the whole thing. It went all the way over their head. It's not about who's for Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's about who you trying to get gangster with.
Hey.
You got to watch who you talking to.
Yeah.
As I tell some of y'all MAGA when y'all come out the mouth sideways at me, you got to watch who you talking to because you don't know who's on the other side of that phone. You got to understand, Zelensky ain't nothing to play with. See, Trump thought that he had him at go.
Yeah.
He could say anything and do anything to him and just belittle him on national television because he was on his platform. Okay, I'll play your game right now, buddy. But when I come, you won't see it coming.
And even real people who are critical that support Trump, Ben Shapiro, for example, you listen to him, he supports Ukraine in this because guess what? You should understand that going along with Russia, Darren, means something's wrong with you up here. If you think they're so great, Darren, honestly, just Nutty is here. We have a trip. I don't know if we can still pull the funds together, but Nutty, would you be still interested in sending Darren to Russia and allowing him to experience it firsthand? Because I would pitch in on that, right? W Zeus. They think Russia is somehow our friend. It makes absolutely no sense.
See, here's the thing that I did some research yesterday. This is something MAGA doesn't do, Zeus.
Yeah.
And, they talk about the border and they talk about immigration and deportation and whatnot. Why is it that there's over 500,000 undocumented European immigrants in this country? European. Same complexion as Trump, but ain't nobody saying nothing about that. Why do you think that he doesn't go after the five families?
Why?
In the United States. And a lot of them are from Italy and from Russia, and from different parts of the country. Why do you think that they leaving them folks alone?
Well, I don't want to say it's because their color, but I'm running out of other ways to look at this. What do you got? What are my options?
They know, just like I said with Zelensky, they know who to mess with and who not to mess with.
There you go, WQ dog. You see what I'm saying? You Trump supporters, you've been exposed. You're being exposed in 4K, or as these young folks like to say, 8K. We see it for what it is, and you can't trick us.
So you got these fake wannabe gangsters that think that they can do what they want to do because they got the right backing and this, that, and the other. But there's true gangsters out there that you just don't mess with.
Yeah.
You leave them alone.
Amen. There you go.
I think this world has to realize that the vision of what's going on is more than a microscope tunnel vision of a Trump lens.
Yeah.
All they looking is straight ahead of what Trump is saying and what his administration is saying. They're not looking to the left or the right, what's coming across the street or down the alley.
Thank you.
And once it hits their doorstep, then they gonna realize you don't mess with those folks. You leave them alone. It's a reason why they stay undercover and stay behind closed doors.
There you go.
Again, MAGA, where is your fearless leader when it comes to Putin? Where is he at? He really
got nothing
right about now, like a church mouse. Even though we know he has no parts of the church. His head starts steaming when he gets close to a church.
Yeah.
That's why he goes to sleep.
Well, listen. One last thing, and then we'll move it on. Tiny Tank Top Tim says this is like a comedy show to him.
Tiny Tank Top Tim, you already know what the comedy is. That's why you changed your name to Tiny Tank Top Tim for me.
Same thing make you laugh, will make you cry. And this is what's coming your way. Judgment is here.
Exactly. We named you Tiny Tank Top Tim, and you took it just like Toby.
All right. Well, thank you, Q-Dog. You did right. You tell them what it was, and it's the truth, and we did it with love, so you can't be penalized for that, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat for Q-Dog. We got to move it on, brother.
For sure. You know I'm down in the chat if you need me, brother.
All right. We'll do, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what an incredible show so far. I mean, this is what we all came to see. I promise you, there are Trump supporters right now in the chat. Livid right now. I told you I was going to ruin your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, and everything in between. I was going to make you spit those Cheez-Its and Diet Coke out, MAGA. And we know you're doing it because you're not reaching out and saying, look, Zeus, this is why we're winning. You can't defend this, MAGA, and you know it, W. Zeus. Come on up here, CC. I promise you, you won't be putting those arms up like that, once we get done talking. So if you're not going to do it, CC, you know what I tell my mods to do? Put them in a straight jacket, and we don't have to be disturbed by your outburst. All right, W Zeus. Straight jacket time, yeah. We got so much truth to get out here, ladies and gentlemen, and these Trump supporters, they think that we're going to sit here and watch them lie without addressing the lies. Good morning, Straight Facts. Welcome. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. How are you doing today, Zeus?
Doing great. I'm once again checking in with the Trump supporters to see if they've gotten anything that they can show us as proof that they are winning. And I'm taking it that them being silent means they're conceding and acknowledging they're not really doing that well. What do you think?
Right, I have to agree. Hi, Kingdom. How are you guys doing? Thank you so much for the gifts ahead of time. Listen, my problem, Zeus, is the Afrikaners. I'm just going to be honest with you because the look that it's giving right now is that they're racist. There is giving very much that they don't want brown and black people in this country, but they will be more than happy to foot the bill for Afrikaners who say that they're refugees. Because I was under the impression that when you're a refugee, it means that you're starving. You can't get the necessities of life that you need. You are seeking shelter. You're trying to find safety for your children. But what I don't understand is if you're a person, Zeus, and you over here and you looking like this. Let me show you, Zeus.
You got something?
Yeah, let me show you.
Let's go ahead and get this on the record.
He doesn't look like he's wanting for nothing.
No.
And I mean, not nothing. He hasn't missed a meal in a long time.
Yeah, it looks like every day he's at least making it to the dinner table, the breakfast table, and getting a couple of snacks and the Scooby snacks and all that. Yeah.
That's right. He's not running from a lick of danger. But yet, let me show you guys.
I shouldn't judge. I'm sorry. I shouldn't judge.
I mean, I'm just saying, by the looks of it, Zeus. I mean, we can be honest.
Yeah, I'm sorry that I did that, ladies and gentlemen. I did something I shouldn't have did. But you know what? W Zeus, W straight facts. If somebody say it looks like he's running to the table.
Look like he's running to the table. What's the difference between him and this young lady and this baby? There's no difference.
Wow.
So he tries to support, tries to defend Trump and say he's not racist. With everything that we've seen so far, we know because we have the ability to take on context clues. We figure out things pretty quickly because remember, we were once enslaved in this country, and we have inherited the fear. Think about it. We run when we don't even know what's happening. We'll just take off running and we'll ask later because we understand in our DNA exactly what type of monsters we're dealing with.
Yeah.
What is the difference, Zeus, between this baby right here and this mother? Hold on. And this baby and this mother? None. But we're inviting them over because they have the complexion for the protection. Zeus.
I'm done. I've never been so disturbed by.
I have never in my life, Zeus, been so disturbed by the obvious racism that we are dealing with right now. And then they have the caucasity to get up on our panels and lie and say, hey, nobody is racist. Trump is not racist. I told the guy this morning when he came into my live, I refuse to debate people that hear voices that I don't hear. I refuse to talk about the butterflies flying around your head that I cannot see. In order for you to talk to straight facts, we have to come to some type of consensus. And so I ask discovery questions right away. Because I don't have time to spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours on people that do not even understand the 3 branches of the government, Zeus.
Amen. W straight facts. You know they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, right? And those photos, I want to actually say thank you for providing the visual of what's really going on here in America to all the people that are watching this show. Because when you see that, you can't help but wonder, why are they treating that group of people that way?
Exactly. So, people learn in different ways.
Wow.
We have to teach people and talk to people where they're at. So some people learn by visuals. Some people learn by words. Some people learn by repetition. Yeah. We need to implore all 3 of those. And that's the reason why I wanted to bring out those pictures today, because there's nothing that you can say to argue against that. It is what it is. Tiny Tip Top Tim Top Toe.
You added another T, you added a toe. Ooh.
Yeah.
W straight back. That was bold.
Whatever his name is.
Scott Jennings.
Because listen, if they don't know how to say Kamala name, I don't know how to say their name. If you are still supporting this with the pictures that I just showed you, and you're saying that the GOP, MAGA, whatever you want to call it, are not a racist party, then that tells me right away that you're delusional. And unfortunately, I don't talk to people that are delulu.
Yeah.
Because it's an unfair fight. So listen, MAGA, y'all got to come to the table with this at this point. We will respect you more if you would just say, yes, I voted for Trump because he's a white man. What gets underneath our skin is that you get up here and you tell bold-faced lies, and then you turn around and say, You guys have to have a little bit more patience with Trump. You got to just trust me. Just believe in him. I will never, ever, not today, not tomorrow, and not the next day,
Amen.
believe a full-fledged con artist, liar, SAer, wear orange makeup, talk about people, knock-kneed, bald head. Trust me, bro.
Bird nest on his head. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. So
Neither.
you know what, MAGA? Y'all want to come to the table. Y'all want to say, well, we can. And then the ones that say, I regret my vote. Well, we get it. But now we're still going to side-eye you.
Yeah, Sharita White. I did a video on that sister, right? I did a video on her. The blagger. She's blagger. Yeah. When this is what she said, straight fact. When Trump was in office, he was in the. I was up when he was in the chair. Now that he's not, I'm going through some hard things. I need him back in that chair. So she voted for him. What do you think about that?
See, no, nobody has time for people that do not understand chronological order. And that's the problem. We were here when the pandemic hit. We understand who had mismanagement, who mismanaged COVID to put us in a predicament that we're in. Then Joe Biden came in and cleared everything up, and then or not everything, but made it. I'm not gonna put it on thick like that. He did a really good job, and then Trump came his butt right back in there and pulled it all back. But before I go, Zeus, because I have to go.
Yeah.
Listen, we have coined a new word for blagger. We no longer call them blagger. You want to hear the new word?
Oh, what is it?
It's NAGA.
I see what you did when you did what you did.
So from now on, we call them blagger, NAGA, because that's exactly what they are.
And I bet not catch any of y'all that ain't in the community saying that. I bet not catch you doing it, because if you do it, it's going to be very difficult conversations, because you can't say it. Nope, you can't say it.
Zeus, that's the problem. I said on my live earlier today,
we're going to hell.
Indians, they want to say the N-word with the hard ER because we wouldn't allow them to say it. They always try to take our words, just like lit, just like you go girl. So now we have to move on from NA. Y'all know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Now we're going to move on to NAGA. All right? So y'all NAGAs.
We are going to hell for this. I know it. At some point, we're going to have to go to hell. W straight facts.
I know we gonna go there. But before we go there, we gonna put our boots on the ground and we gonna fan our fans and we gonna wear our cowboy and cowgirl hats and we're gonna enjoy the doggone scenery because you know this is a whole show. If it's nothing else, Zeus, it's entertaining.
Amen. W straight facts. Hit him with it. She's not lying.
I'm getting on up out of here, y'all. Thank you again so much for the gifts. I really appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful day. And y'all know what? Y'all need to stay safe in them TikTok streets.
Amen. Amen. W straight facts. No lies detected. Wow. Every day I go live, ladies and gentlemen. You just never know how this show is going to go. But you know what? Straight facts. You're right. This is going to, they keep saying, the Trump supporters, that they're winning. And I'll be honest with you all. You all saw me after the election, right? I was devastated, but I still showed up and did the shows despite the fact that I was devastated. And the emotions went from devastation to sadness because, and then anger, right? And there's still going to be some anger, but honestly, there is something inside of me, and this is why I say I might end up having to go to hell, but if you know what, like Straight Facts said, it's a good show. I get so much joy out of watching these Trump supporters suffering at the hands of their dear leader, W. Zeus. I do. Every day. Oh, tiny tank top Tim Tom, you lost your job, you lost your wife. Oh, and I'm asking God to work with me on that, though. I'm asking him seriously. I say, God, please help me not to be that person, because I want to be a better person, but I also think there has to be some sort of punishment. There has to be some form of punishment for willfully voting for somebody that you had all the information available to you to let you know this was a very bad decision. And your logic goes, well, when he was in the chair, I was up. All right. And then I'm going through some things right now. And so I need him back in the chair so I can get back to being up. Meaning you wanted him, because you got to understand why you got the pandemic checks. It was because he mismanaged it. You remembered all the people that lost their life. So you want to welcome all of that back on so you could get a measly $1,200. Judgment is really upon this nation. I'm being honest with you, and I say that lightly. So yes, I do get joy, all right, ladies and gentlemen, watching Trump supporters get their behinds whooped by the good Lord. There has to be some sort of punishment for this, all right? So yeah, and then I do hope at a certain point you get out of this cult that you've gotten yourselves into, all right? Because whether you believe it or not, you did it to yourself, really. All right, put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter, and I will try to bring you up, all right? Please put a 1 in the chat, and I'll bring you right on up here. Yeah, you look at the chat. You all agree there has to be a form of punishment, right, for these Trump supporters willfully disobeying God, right? Because that's what it was. Am I being too mean? Does there have to be punishment for willfully disobeying God? Yeah, okay. And I bring God in quite a bit because a majority of these people, when you talk to them, they'll tell you that they believe in Jesus and they follow the teachings in the Bible. And so I just want to make sure I never, ever, ever let them get out of that. All right, W. Zeus. Someone said it's not my place. Actually, it is right here. This is my hammer, and this is why I do this. And to you, what did you call yourself, MAGA demon? I want to remind all of you MAGA demons, you will be judged. You will be. And it would be awesome if you would just send me a guest request and let the judgment process start happening. But y'all don't want to be judged. So instead of, me waiting for you, we're going to bring it to you every day. Thank you for the subscriptions. Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. All right, who do we got next? Do we have any Trump supporters out there? Please put a 1 in the chat. I'll bring you right on up here. Real quickly, I'm going to give them about 10 seconds, and then we'll move on to, a fan favorite. Let's see. Because, I think we're at a point on the show, ladies and gentlemen, where MAGA just literally comes in and they actually take a seat, and they want to hear what we Democrats, or actually... what did you say? I told my husband, if Trump, if you do it to beg for money because you don't have a job. Crafty, could you please come up here, Crafty? Crafty, could you please come up here? Because this is to me the funniest thing ever. Crafty, if that is what it is, what's it to you? And they don't want to talk about. So they don't want to talk about them not winning. They want to talk about Zeus winning. W. Zeus. Thank you, Crafty. Crafty, thank you for letting everybody know that I'm winning and you're not. All right. I tried to bring you up, Crafty, but obviously you're not so crafty because all you're worried about is how Zeus is surviving out here. And instead of actually W. Sneaky Fingers and Crafty. Oh, Crafty nailed it. I don't mind talking to these folks who get jealous of me because, when you get paid from TikTok, you know what you have to do? They give you a 1099 and then you have to file that with your taxes. I was telling a good friend of mine. So anybody that understands a 1099 means business, right? So you have a problem with the way Big Zeus is running his business, Crafty and User. Well, maybe you didn't hear the PSA announcement I gave all of you at the top of the show right before I opened the doors of my business. I always say it.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country,
you use 1099s, why can't I?
You can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
W. Zeus. And you know what it is? I show up to work every day. Well, they get on me. You show up 5 or 10 minutes late, but I show up to this job every morning, ladies and gentlemen, and I tell you, I do a number on these Trump supporters. They're jealous because there's nobody that supports Donald Trump and loves their country that is willing to do what we do as Democrats. We are all collectively, whether it's myself or other people who go live and do this kind of stuff, we love our country so much. We understand what's at stake, and we're going, we will not sit idly by and surrender this great country of ours to the evil clutches of Donald J. Trump and his legion of MAGA demons. So your insults, MAGA, they honestly, they're getting played out. It's like you're using the same mixtape that we've heard like 3 or 4 years ago. It was hot when it came out, I'll give you that, but it's 2025, MAGA. Y'all can't keep running around here hating on people because they're working. And if you have a problem with people working, then you know what that means? You're not working, right? Yeah, people should be able to go on social media, and as long as they're not breaking any laws, make a living for themselves. Why is that something you all think is something is a bad thing? And then at the end of the day, you honestly have no clue what I do, all right? Because you say stuff that makes absolutely no sense, all right? And it's the hypocrisy, right? Because on the other hand, they will turn around and send their Social Security money that they're collecting, which is to me the biggest thing ever, right? How are you living off the government? Isn't that socialism, right? And they'll turn around and give it to Donald Trump, their dear leader. So it's okay for him to go online and email you all to death, begging you for money. That's cool. It's okay for him to fly around in a private jet from another corrupt country, $400 million, and make you pay for it. That's cool. But you just can't stand to see Democrats talking about them. Something's not clicking. You're doing that because you don't got the $5,000 that Elon and him promised you when they told you they found all this waste, fraud, and abuse. So you're sitting at home waiting on your money. That's what's going on. And you can't call them up and complain, so you come over here and try to complain to Big Zeus. It makes absolutely no sense as far as I am concerned. You should be happy, now that I think about it, that a black man like myself is making an honest living. You should be proud. Now that I think about it, MAGA, this is what you've been looking for, because you know they come around. Zeus, what about all this inner city crime? Okay, so you don't want to see us as criminals. Okay, fine. So what about us being honest businessmen and women out here? Now we're honest businessmen and women, and they still have a problem. Yeah, okay. It's so easy to. I mean, this is just, to me, I'm actually embarrassed, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really embarrassed that a lot of these folks who support Donald Trump are this deranged and this ignorant. I am. Because they live in this country, and you have to think like perhaps there is a problem with the educational system. Good morning, Nutty. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
All right. What are we going to get today? Because you always come in hot, bro.
So I need to ask a favor of you.
Sure.
So before you bring me up any other time, will you please just give a disclaimer and say TikTok, this is for educational purposes only?
Yes. TikTok, this is for educational purposes only. I don't take any responsibility for what Nutty says. I'm gonna be honest with you. He's always got something wild coming out.
So let's start here. I want to go back to one of your first guests, Randy. Randy, yes, you have our condolences that your mother passed the day before Mother's Day. It's tough. My mom passed away 2 years ago now. But you know where I wasn't? I wasn't on TikTok in a political live. So screw your feelings, Randy. Because if your mother passed on Saturday, you should be off this app grieving with your family. Not on TikTok. At least not in the lives. Don't get on panels. Because you don't have the sympathy from me when you get on a panel when you need to be grieving your mother. Now, none of us want anyone's parent to unalive. We don't care who you voted for. Well, let me take that back. Can I throw a curveball in here, Zeus? Let me throw a curveball in here. I want to go straight to the person you have behind you here. So that $400 million plane, I retract every statement that I've ever made about that. Let him have the plane. Let him have it. Furthermore, so it won't cost the American taxpayer any money, don't do any retrofitting. Give it to him. Let him get on it right now. And wherever the chips fall, that's where it has to lay. That part right there. Let him have the plane. Let him get on it. I don't want our Secret Service vetting it. Whatever the Qatarians find out, because you know it's going to be bugged. Whatever they find out, let them have it. But let him take use of it immediately. And if it goes down in the Atlantic Ocean, then oh well, oops, I did it again. Isn't that Britney Spears? Oops, I did it again.
Wow.
So let him have it. So Randy.
So it sounds like you just don't want us to have to spend any of our taxpayers' money on this aircraft, but you think that Donald, the president, should be able to have this aircraft. You know, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. Honestly, I don't.
Well, I do. So no, I don't think the president. You said the president. No, I think Donald Trump should have the plane. Give it to Donald Trump.
Wow.
Because we know a real president wouldn't accept something like this. So you know what I miss? You know what I miss, Zeus?
What's that?
It's not that I miss having a Democrat in the office of the presidency. I miss having an American patriot in the office.
That could be any side of the aisle, is what you're saying.
Notice I said an American patriot because let me be very clear in my speech, and I'm slowing way down today. If you notice, I'm not amped up this morning. I'm slowing way down.
You sound amped up, but in a different way.
Well, okay. Notice that we had a disdain for George W. Bush. We thought he was the dumbest president since Dumb and Dumber.
I did.
This is what we thought.
I did.
And part of that is still true. Two things can be true at one time, right?
Yeah, the way he walked off the stage at one time, and
absolutely, when he choked on a pretzel.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Got the shoe thrown at him.
But Zeus, here's the thing: we could never claim that he did not care about this country. We couldn't claim that. We just said he was stupid. I can remember Vice President Dan Quayle under George H.W. Bush. We just thought he was stupid.
Yeah.
But we couldn't deny that they loved this nation. But let me wrap it up with Randy. Randy, get off of TikTok. And if you want to be on TikTok to help with the grieving process, don't go into a political live panel, sir, and then be boastful about you voting for Donald Trump. Because you're gonna, if you call for the hammer, you're gonna get laid.
Woo! Nutty, you are all over the place this morning. I mean, wow.
So I'm done with Randy. I'm done with Randy. Now I want to go to 4X.
Who's 4X?
Zeus. Tiny Tank. So Zeus, I am not making fun of anybody with what they make, because anyone who has a job, good for you. That's hard-earned money. That's good for you. So I'm not making fun of people about what they make, because remember our TikTok guru that worked at Waffle House?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least you have a job.
Yeah.
But what I don't believe, Zeus, is someone who makes $50,000 combined with him and his wife, because he told us that, did he not? He said he makes $50,000.
No, I think it was 50. It's 52. You got to add the additional 2,000, I believe.
Oh, 52,000. Oh, okay.
If my mind is still accurate.
Let me just be.
I don't want to put any business out there that isn't already out there.
Let me say they have a household income of $55,000.
Okay, that's there.
I say a household income.
Yeah.
That means both parties, right?
That means husband and the wife combined means 50. Yeah. That's what combined income means.
Anyone who's making $55,000 for the household in Washington State, which is not a cheap place to live either. It's not. There's no really cheap place to live in the United States, but there are some places cheaper than others. You're not going to sit here and pee on my leg and tell me it's raining and tell me that you're going to send that Doge check back because that's what you did with the stimulus.
Oh.
The devil is a lie. You know good and doggone well you didn't send no stimulus money back to the government.
So you think he lied? You think he lied?
He's He's a bald-faced liar. Period. Point blank.
No,
in
why?
the discussion. Because let me tell you.
That's a
something,
good
Zeus.
angle. That's how I gotta see. I gotta roll. I got an error on the side of caution. Now that does.
Zeus, when you're making $55,000 for the household income, that means you're living foot to mouth. And see, I grew up with grandparents, and so I know a lot of people don't understand the terms that we use when we say foot to mouth. That means you are paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
That means you don't have it like that to where you are living in abundance. So you're living foot to mouth, all right? Because you're robbing Peter to pay who? Paul.
I've heard that too.
So you're not going to tell me you're going to send $5,000 back to the federal government. The devil is a lie.
Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. Now come on, champ. I can't defend you when you say stuff like that, but he's got a point, bro. You can't be doing that.
Listen. I make several times more than that alone. And you know what? If they send it to me, I ain't sending it back.
So he was saying that to try to seem like a boss. Is that what I mean, because I didn't pick up on that, but because he's like, well, listen.
Chat. Ask the chat. Did y'all not hear him say that he would send it back when you talked about the Doge check?
Yeah.
When you talked about, he said I would send it back just like I sent the stimulus back.
I wouldn't imagine his significant other would be okay with that. I don't think they would be okay with that. I would look at him and say, you can't love the government that much, dog. You can't do that. That's a little too much.
Because
that's
here's the deal. No matter how much money I make, Zeus, if the government sends me any money, do you know why I won't send it back, Zeus?
Because it's our money to begin with.
Because
right?
it's my money.
There you go. We can't have this. Are there any Trump supporters? Maybe there's other Trump supporters like him. Is there any Trump supporter like Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom that sent their stimulus check back? Because he said he sent his pandemic checks, the ones that Trump signed. He said he sent that back to Uncle Sam. Anyone do that?
4X. If you do get a fictitious imaginary Doge check that's never going to come, I will give you my address. You can just send it to me, and I will invest it for you. Wink, wink. I will invest it for you. Wink, wink. And then I will make money for you. Wink, wink.
Thank you.
So just send it to me.
Yeah.
Because listen. I'm no millionaire. So $5,000, that's some bag.
Yeah.
Now, it won't go far, but it will help.
Yeah. Yeah.
So would you send $5,000 back, Zeus?
Nope. Oh no, absolutely not. Me and my demons are gonna have a good time. W Zeus in the chat. All right, me and my demons might have a little bit of fun, but it'll be clean though. Let's be honest. I'm just kidding. My angels, I should say.
So let me just land my plane here. Land my plane here. He told the truth for once, and he said that he comes to this live because he gets exposure. We said this plenty of times prior.
Yeah.
That he comes here because there's always going to be the haters and the detractors in your comments because you mention it every day.
Yeah.
There's always going to be the haters and detractors in the comments, and so when they see a like-minded person, they're going to gravitate to that like-minded person and they're going to hit follow. So he's gaining clicks and follows because I was honest with you on your platform in front of all these people. You have almost 2,000 people in here right now.
Yeah.
Every single day that I come up in your live, that I'm on your panel, when I get off of your panel, I notice I have an influx in followers.
Oh, really? Well, that's what building community is all about. That's what I do this for, right? I mean, that's a positive thing.
But let's be truthful about it is my point. Let's be truthful about it. You can't tell me you hate Zeus. You hate coming to the show because Zeus is such a liar, but then you always come to the show to gain something and to take something away from the show. Anytime you are receiving something from anything, that what you're receiving from becomes a commodity towards you. So that's why you continue to come back to the kingdom every single day. It's because you're receiving something from it, whether it's coins, whether it's followers, whether it's, they think that all
Maverick.
When people, like Maverick.
Yeah, she's here getting her kibble. I call it kibble. What they
Yes,
get. It's fine.
They think that the word famous and infamous is a good thing. So they would rather be infamous instead of famous. So instead of trying to derate somebody, I remember coming to Zeus's platform when it wasn't this. I remember coming to this platform when you could get 30 people in your complete live.
Only 30. He meant only 30. Yeah, and that was a good day.
That
was a good day.
Yeah, and that was a great day.
And I was also, was it when I was doing the Love Guru stuff? Because I am a Love Guru.
Absolutely.
W Nutty, all right? Because I can do that too to help Tom. If you need love, I can help you with that. And you too, Trash Bait.
But the point is, you put in the work. This platform that you have here, it didn't happen overnight. You put in the work consistently. You spoke about coming back to the platform even after the election, even when you felt deflated. You still came back and you still did the show because people wanted you to do your show, and you came back and you continuously built this platform. So instead of being a hater, don't be a hater. Congratulate them.
There you go. Brick by brick.
Yeah. He built it. Now, I can joke with him. We tease each other back and forth because we know he's not Triple H. We will go back and forth on that. But this is my brother. I stand 10 toes down for him. Yeah. Yeah, I can use the TikTok language. I'm saying it with my, what they say, whole chest.
This brother got in. I didn't know what nutty we was going to get today, ladies and gentlemen. But now I take credit for some of this stuff. This is some good stuff he's saying, all right? But except for the part about the Triple H. But judgment waits for you, Nutty, if you keep it up.
And listen. I have one more message. I'm sorry, Zeus. I got one more message.
Go for it.
Santana. For Santana. Santana, you ever come for me again on Zeus's platform, brother? Y'all don't trip. Don't trip. Santana's my brother. But Santana, if you ever
he can't even say it with a straight face. He know he lying.
He ever come for me on Zeus's platform again.
He can't even say it with a straight face. Santana, keep up the good work, bro.
I am going to roast you worse than Takesha to roast all these MAGA demons. I am going to roast you. Lord Santana, don't come for me.
Wow.
Zeus, I appreciate you letting me up. Y'all have a great day. And touch some grass out there, y'all. Take a little time to enjoy the view.
Fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, W Nutty in the chat. I mean, you never know what version of Nutty you're going to get, but he's all over the place. But he came from a good place, all right? I appreciate that, bro. Seriously. Lord, have mercy. Dr. Lex, isn't it your birthday today, Dr. Lex? I see you in the chat. All right, I just wanted to make sure I got that straightened out. All right, let's go. We've gotten something. Okay, I see you. Good morning, Santana. How are you doing, boss?
Good morning.
Yeah,
how are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you, but you heard what Nutty said, and I don't know if you want to speak to that or if you got something else, but the floor is yours.
Listen. So, last things first, right? Nutty knows how much I love him, right? I mean, that's another good brother, right?
Mhm.
I will never take that away from him. But, I mean, come on.
W, Santana.
So,
that's like the super hot fire line right there. But come on, Nutty.
Yeah, it's all good. Listen, I actually, the only reason I requested up though is because I disagreed with Nutty. About Tiny Tank Top Tim and sending back his actual stimmy. I believe in Zeus.
You do?
I believe. You know why?
Why?
Because they're in a cult.
Zeus. You think it's that strong?
Listen, the simple fact of the matter is that they are so delusional that they believe that not only is everything that Donald Trump does right, but they are willing to do any and everything for Donald Trump. When Donald Trump, before he was elected, when he said that he could go into the middle of Fifth Avenue and pew someone and get away with it, he meant it. He meant it. And since that day, it has grown stronger and stronger and stronger. And the problem is, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
So they are so loyal to Donald Trump, right? It's part of, who they are, but they also don't follow anyone else. So that's why when Donald Trump was like, "Oh, I'm not sure if JD Vance will be my successor," and because they know JD Vance doesn't have it. It's a cult of personality, and they don't follow anyone the way they follow Trump. And so for anyone to say, I mean, Zeus, think about it. They buy these NFTs for $99. Like, he can sell his gold shoes for $500. Like, he sells anything and they buy it all. So why wouldn't they send back their stimulus check to be a quote unquote patriot? I believe them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. W. Santana. I mean, so you're telling me, because the reason I went along with Nutty is because I thought at a certain point, their humanity would kick in, and they would recognize that giving away that kind of money would place them in more financial danger, so to speak, right? So you can imagine a couple, and you got your significant other, and you say, "Hey, baby, yeah, I just got this stimulus check," right? And it's the pandemic. This is when tempers were hot, and bills are already, it's already hard enough to pay your bills, right? And then you tell her, "Now give me your check too, and we're going to send this back to Donald Trump." How does that work? That's where you mean there's places in America where they'll say, "Oh, thank you. That's the right thing to do."
Zeus, so think about this, right? So I'm from South Carolina, right? And South Carolina and North Carolina was ravaged by Hurricane Helene, right? And FEMA was out supporting, doing what they could as far as, helping people and, doing all this other things.
Yeah.
There are people in parts of Western North Carolina who literally would not accept help from FEMA, even though their land, their houses, everything was decimated. They wouldn't accept help because Donald Trump, the Trump administration, was putting out disinformation saying that, "Oh, your land is being taken," and they're not really helping.
I remember.
Yeah, so people who literally were freezing to death, people that were living inside of homes that had been devastated, refused actual help because Donald Trump said so. Well, it sounds like the fire alarm's going off here.
You got to get up out of here, bro.
It sounds like I might have to go.
You better take care of it. All right. Thank you for the info, ladies and gentlemen. W. Santana, fire alarm going off. Wow. But you know what? I'll wrap it up by saying what he said. It's obvious, you Trump supporters, you will do as I've been saying, right? Peacefully cross over into the afterlife on behalf of your dear leader. If you really gave that check away, I'm very disappointed in you, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, because you put your life at risk, you and your family's life at risk. And what did you get for doing that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. And if you got up here and lied, I'm very disappointed as well, because all you had to do is be honest and admit you kept the money. All right. It's clear you need it. All right. And if you didn't keep it, it's just, to me, it's just W. Zeus, because in W. Santana, that's just some weird stuff. All right, let's see. We'll try to do one more, and then Big Zeus will get up out of here. All right. Good morning, Val. How are you?
Morning, Zeus. Good.
Yeah, it's been an incredible show today on so many levels. You hear stories like this, and you hear this is really going on in America. It's just so much going on in this country, and you can't help but wonder: is any of this going to get better?
No, I don't think it is. Not while this administration is sitting in office. I mean, that's going to be the main thing about it. I mean, MAGA just created a new slogan when that plane landed the other day.
Really?
You can't make white with them. If you can't make white women have them, import them.
Oh, W. Val.
don't know what else to say. I mean, it's somebody said it earlier. It's the most racist thing they've ever seen. I've got to say, I agree. I've never seen anything like this. You want to unload immigrants in this country because you don't really like how they look, and that's what it comes down to bring in immigrants that look like you.
That's crazy. That's evil stuff going on. This
has got to be the most white supremacist thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. If you can have them, import them. And then you know what they're doing to the people of color, right? They're trying to deport them, and they just treat them like they're animals, and they act like this is all going to go over so easily with the American people. What about the Supreme Court thing that's going on with the birthright citizenship? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, you had a lawyer come up here and tell you this earlier, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And me as a constitutionalist, I agree with everything you just said. He's exactly right.
Yeah.
I mean, the 14th Amendment is really not up for discussion. This has been discussed. It's been voted on by past Supreme Courts more than once. And the decision's the same every time.
Yeah.
If this court decides to change birthright citizenship, we've literally lost our Constitution at that very moment.
Yeah. Ain't that something? And it seems to me that that's what they want. They don't want a Constitution. They just want to be left alone to worship Donald Trump.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Without
regard.
Yeah.
Regard. I mean, somebody else said it earlier. They brought up the old quote, right?
Yeah.
If you don't like the roots, you can't love the tree. And I don't know where you go after that.
Yeah. Hold on. Lex said he wants to check in with you, and we might as well because, the show's about to come to a conclusion. And then, Lex, it's your birthday tomorrow, bro?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Are you going to be around? Are you going to be around? Because we do celebrate birthdays over here. Are you going to be around?
I'm going to come over.
All right. But what did you want to talk to Val about or to the kingdom about, honestly?
He made me stop working in my garden. Val, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you say what you said about the importing again? If we can't, what'd you say? The women can't have them. What was that you said? I just
if the women can't have them, import them.
That's all I need.
Yeah. Isn't that a sad thing? Isn't that a sad situation that we're in right now? And I hear these people are getting money. Are they getting money from our government when they come in? Like, is that what I heard? Is that correct? And his supporters.
Well, they're getting the full gambit: the food stamps, influx of money, housing, the whole 9 yards, healthcare, insurance,
farmland.
All of it.
Wow.
Yeah, farmland. They're giving them all of it. 40 acres and a mule.
What would a Trump supporter, honestly, how could they frame this in a way that it's a positive? While they're being asked, because they're being asked to give up a lot with this spending bill, right? Trump supporters they're being asked to give up a lot with these tariffs, right?
Oh yeah, they've been asked to be giving up a lot for what we just saw walk off that plane yesterday. When we talk about these groups of people, this ultra nationalist religious supremacist society. You know what I'm saying? We need to rename it because we need to come up with a new name.
Yeah.
After what happened yesterday, we need to come up with a new name.
Well, the thing is that they're about to get in South Africa. Afrikaners are used to being segregated off from their own compounds in society in South Africa and treating those African people really poorly. So what they're about to get welcomed to is the great American melting pot. Because we black folks over here aren't South Africans.
No.
They have their own strengths, but we have our own boiling point, tipping point, that you can't do the things to us like you did to those people over there. So they're going to find out the hard way.
Right, but they're going to put these people on farmland with, you know what I'm saying, in very, very white communities.
They'll still run into black folks.
Do what?
It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
It's inevitable. I'll give you that. But they're going to block them off as long as they can.
What a sad.
You know something? They're going to get exposed to some stuff that they're not going to like here, especially whenever they try to treat African Americans like South African.
Right, because these people are used to an apartheid kind of power, right?
Yeah.
Even worse. But what do you say to the Blaga? Because this is going to impact, our straight facts as NAGA. What are you going to say to these groups when they when they experience this from these folks? Isn't it something they kind of voted for in a way?
It's exactly what they voted for.
I mean, let them have what they get. If I see a South Africa,
okay,
go ahead.
So would you get out and protest if they did anything to some of those NAGAs? I gotta keep it clean. I can't say it. Straight facts, you're gonna get me in trouble, and I'm probably gonna go to hell. But would you do anything for Blaga? Would y'all do anything for Blaga if those South Africaners decided to do something and take matters into their own hands and harm them, and then it created some real disturbances? Would you be willing to get out there and protest?
Okay, so listen, Zeus, my bro.
Yeah.
There's one saying that I've coined on TikTok that comes from me directly because it came from my granddaddy. He said, "If you see a raccoon in the daytime, it's got rabies."
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go out chasing around something with rabies.
Get all these people saying no. What? But do it for the cause. Do it for the people. Come on, Lex. I mean, these folks, they still. Y'all saying no in the chat. They saying no.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Like asking me what would I do for a Klondike bar. I'm not doing that.
We'll be in attendance of one.
I have literally gotten myself in trouble on this app for going after MAGA, even though sometimes people weren't MAGA. I've gone after people if they show the smell of being MAGA, or if I mistake them for MAGA, I go after them.
Got it. So no hope. So look at all these people. They saying H no, Craig hell no. Wow. Yeah, ain't no. The East Coast ain't got no love for the West Coast. Y'all wild out there. So to the black Trump supporters and voters out there, what we're saying is you're on your own. Is that what we're saying? They're on their own, and this is a bed they've made. They gotta lay in it, right? This is sad. This is sad. We are supposed to be the United States of America.
I mean, I've had experience with South African white tea males.
Yeah.
In my lifetime in business, and if you know, you know.
Yeah.
And if these people are ruthless, okay, and that needs to be understood. That group of people you saw sitting at the airport looking all pretty, that is one of the most ruthless sets of people you will ever meet in your entire lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible. I mean, they literally would try to they would try to run you over with cars. They are terrible people. I mean, Zeus, I'm telling you, Val is right. Those people are monsters.
Wow.
When it comes to seeing black people, it's literally violence straight off the rip when they see one.
Wow. Well, I always try to believe in giving everyone a fair chance. So I'll take what you're saying, but still try to keep an open mind. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake. It's clear where Donald Trump's priorities are, and it's not with you. And it's not with us. It's not with America at all, it seems. And it's just sad, and it's just disturbing and disgusting. But listen, you two, Big Zeus has to rock and roll and get up out of here. All right.
All right. Yeah. One more thing. I do have a question for Blaga.
Mm-hmm.
If you were part of his plan, explain the last 2 days.
Now that was mean, Val. That was mean. But you know what? We need a little bit of it, Val. And I know they will never be able to do it. They won't dare get up here and try to explain it.
Oh my God, that's a good question. Well, they're gonna be like, we'll see what happens. So when I voted for him, the Democratic Party hasn't done anything for us.
Yeah.
The Republican Party is going to try doing everything to us.
Yeah.
So Jimmy cracked the corn, and I don't care. and that sort of thing. That's
There
how
you
they
go.
explain it.
Yeah, well, we're going to make sure they end up giving us answers because your assignment has been given to you, Blaga from Val. Explain the last 2 days and the assignment. You got 24 hours to do it, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow, and they'll give us the
You want y'all
answers.
talking like Kenneth?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Lord have mercy, help me. All right, you two, I got to get up out of here. All right, it was a pleasure. You're welcome. It was a pleasure having you both. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up to Dr. Lex and Val. No lie, protected. All right, now I got to get up out of here. Look at that. You guys kept me 30 minutes late once again. I don't know how you keep doing this. All right, but I want to give all of you in the audience a huge round of applause. Thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. We show up every day at work to get this wonderful work done to save the country. All right, but I also got to give one last round of booze and shaming. You know who this goes out to. This goes out to all the Zeus haters out there. They're not just my haters. These are also your haters. They keep saying they're winning even though they are losing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send them to hell one last time.
Silence!
Take care and stay safe out there. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your morning. Have a great rest of your morning. We survived another show. This is some crazy stuff. Oh my gosh, WDM. Let's go. You weren't saying any of that Trump stuff while the show was going on, conservative Democrat. You weren't big and bad. You were sitting there eating your kibble like a good boy. Let's go. WQ dog. W Stacey Jones. Thank you for extending the subscription. Thank you. Let's do some drill, baby drill. W Marissa.
She said, I like fracking very much. Like, they always go back to
and then we're out of here.
They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical.
Can't make it imported.
She can't help it. But we're going to end that, and we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill.
We're gonna be drilling so deep.
We're gonna be for these guys.
Here it goes.
We're gonna take out so much money. We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes to.
You know what that means?
Insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack, frack. Drill. There's a frack, frack, frack. There's a baby, there's a WrestleMania energy. Because you know she's gonna bang. You know she's gonna bang. Up her there, she was against fracking, against all the stuff.
You want cheap eggs?
And then all the stuff. And then all of a sudden, about a year to half ago,
when she was getting killed in the back, she said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical.
She can't help it.
And we're gonna end that.
And we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep. We're gonna be for these guys. We're gonna drill. We're gonna take out so much money. We're gonna pay down our debt. We're gonna lower your taxes deep.
Insane asylums. Cat, thank you. Crazy when I say
the late great Hannibals. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack, frack.
Hey!
Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill like it's Hannibal Lecter.
Like it's Hannibal Lecter.
Insane asylums.
Here it goes.
You know they go crazy when I say
the late great Hannibal Lecter.
What are you?
They say,
why would you mention Hannibal Lecter? Like, seriously, why?
We're going to lower your taxes.
Oh, that's a good
deep insane asylums.
You know they go crazy when I say
the late great Hannibal.
It gets me every time. The late great Hannibal. Come on, you can't go wrong. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal, and they do drill. You do it. You drill. How low can you go? Hey, how low? Hey, how low can you go? Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter. That's dope. We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say. Oh, you don't want to be with Tiny Tank Top Tim. He ain't got no money. But you can come be we're a winner, all right? Because what we'll do is we're gonna lower your taxes, and then we're gonna pay off all your debt. All right? Because guess what? We got so much liquid gold underneath our feet, and all we gotta do is drill, baby, drill. All right, and then do a little fracking after that. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care. Stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing I wouldn't do. We are out of here.